Hello folks, Casey here and welcome back to the channel. This week I'm digging into a pair of junkyard 31 spline 8.8 Traction-Lok limited slip differentials. I got both of these at Pick and Pull. I picked up two because I found two and I was building the rear end for the Crown Vic F100 swap project. That vehicle is going from a 273 open differential to a 373 limited slip differential. So I got two of these. These stupid things are over $100 now at Pick and Pull. By the time you add in all the environmental fees and taxes and everything else, they're about 125 bucks for one of these units from Pick and Pull, out of a junkyard, unknown condition. I don't love that. Because it's 2026 and everything's so goddamn expensive, the rebuild kits for these start at $100 and they go up to about 160. You can buy a new one off the shelf for 300, but that's not my style. So I picked up a rebuild kit for the one that's ultimately going to go in the Crown Vic. All new clutches. I'm going to talk about how to set up the shim stack, proper lubrication for the clutches, not falling into Ford's trap of buying excess friction modifier, you name it. We're going to cover it and we're going to put this thing together. This one, I'm going to use the old school junkyard method of freshening up a used track lock to still make it spin both tires. This one, truth be told, wasn't in that bad a shape to start with. Now it's shimmed up extra tight and it's gonna lay some rubber. This one will be for sale if you know anybody looking for a 31 spline 8.8 track lock. I'm gonna ask 200 or best offer and that money's gonna go back into my project. So if you're looking for one, hit me up. And maybe I'll be willing to bargain a little bit on it.
8,500, this is all we'll give you.
Know that I paid 125 and then spent a few hours going through it.
All right, 10,000, that's all. We both go home happy.
But hey, content is content, right?
Okay, no deal. You come back when you want to talk deal.
Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the rebuild on these 31 spline 8.8 track locks. All right, so we're getting ready to assemble 31 spline 8.8 track lock differential. Had my clutches soaking overnight in the Ford friction modifier. Got my little sanity check here for my assembly order. Gear, steel, friction, steel, steel, friction, steel, friction, shim. How do you decide what shim? You want to put your shim stacks together and you want to measure them when they're dry before you soak them. And the common knowledge for the non-carbon fiber clutches is that you want somewhere in the neighborhood of 0.650 to 0.655 compressed thickness. Use a little C-clamp and then your calipers to measure that stack. With the thickest shim, I was at 657. 657 is 3/1000 too tight. I think I'm gonna try to run it. It might be harder to put the spring in. I might regret this decision later, but I want this thing locked up as tight as I can get it. So we're gonna start with our gear. We're gonna add a steel. We're gonna add a friction. Go ahead and let them drip. We're gonna add another steel, another steel, and then another friction. We're gonna add our last steel, and then our last friction. These friction plates have been soaking overnight in the Ford friction modifier. All right, and then our shim. And this is our ring gear side stack. So we can bring this in. And drop it into the housing. There we go. All right, that's one side. Let's grab our non-ring gear side gear. I did keep track of which gear was on which side. I doubt it matters, but it takes no extra time to keep track, so might as well keep track, in my opinion. So we've got our side gear, a steel. After the steel, we do a friction, followed by another steel, another steel, a friction, our last steel. Our last friction. And then our shim. This Ford friction modifier is stinky stuff. Now, I don't know if I already said this. Ford says to discard the friction modifier after you soak the shims in them and then buy another 4-ounce bottle of friction modifier to add to the differential upon final fill. No, Ford, we're not doing that. We're just gonna put that in. All right. Okay. Now, take our spider gears, set them in on the side, 90 degrees to our axle gears. And then we just rotate them around. Like so. Until our cross pin lines up. And that's really all there is to it. Now we got to put the S-spring in. That's got to be the sketchiest part of the whole shooting match right there. Now, I'll lift this up so you guys can see. I put the cross pin in to keep the spider gears from trying to walk out while I'm starting this in. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap this down until it's about to touch the cross pin. And then I'm going to take my cross pin out.
Don't worry about it. You're still in good shape. All you got to do is just tap it in.
And then I'm going to go ahead and
just tap it in now.
Tap it in.
Hey, just tap it in.
Tap, tap, tap it in.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
A little bit more. And there you go. S-spring installed. I learned that trick from Bad Shoe Productions, how to rebuild the Ford 8.8 DVD. A little bit sketchy in the vise for sure. Make sure you have safety glasses on, but that, you can't knock that. That's a pretty straightforward way to get this done. That sucker is tight. That's what you want. Go ahead and put our cross pin back in. It's gonna have to come back out when we reinstall everything, but can sit in there for now. That's an 8.8 rebuilt. All right, so it's 2026 and everything's really expensive. So say you want to rebuild your Track-Lok, but you don't have a budget for the $100 Ford rebuild kit. This unit, when I turned the wheel to check to see if it had a Track-Lok in it before I took the rear end apart, the other wheel turned the same direction. That's kind of a telltale sign that you've got a limited slip and that it's in at least okay shape. So I expect that this is going to look pretty good when we get in here. Once you disassemble it, you clean everything up. You want to grab a C-clamp This is the method I discussed earlier. Though I did not show you how to do it. So you want to clamp your clutch pack together, and you don't want to like murder it tight. You just want to clamp it snug. And you get in here with your calipers and you measure. And I got 0.632, which, believe it or not, that's actually in spec. It's not surprising to see, 0.632. Let's go ahead and loosen this guy up. Let's check our other pack. So here we go. Clamp it down. Okay, we're gonna measure this one. .633. So surprisingly, again, within spec, which isn't crazy to think about because like I said, when I was at the junkyard and I tried to turn the wheels on this thing, they both turned, so it was working. But I wanted to take it apart, I wanted to clean it up. Never put a part from pick and pull in your ride without at least going through it and cleaning it up. Now, I just rebuilt this unit over here. I have the shims that came out of that. 28.5. So 632 plus 28.5, that's 660. That's right where my other pack was. If I throw this shim in there as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's double shim it. Go ahead and get our clamp together here. Let's see. 659 right there, 0.6585. This thing is gonna be just as good as the other one. Well, that's not true. So obviously, you know, the friction material in the clutches is a little bit worn. This is the older style where it's solid friction material, but the steels themselves look pretty decent. You know, there's no evidence that they got overly hot or anything like that. So cleaning this up, putting it back together, adding a shim so it's tight like it was when it was fresh. Obviously there's not as much friction material, so it's not gonna last as long as it would if you put in fresh friction material and fresh steels because it all wears down. It's all a wear item. But it's back to being tight like it was right from the factory. And so it's gonna lay that double patch just like it would have fresh from the factory. Go ahead and check this one too. .6565. Can you see that? 657, call it. All right, so we'll take our side gear like so. Bring this into the housing. Like so. Grab our other side gear, assemble these together, up into the housing. There we go. Bring our spider gears in. Get one in place to hold everything together. Bring the other in 90 degrees off. And we're going to walk them into place. All right, spider gears are in place. We're gonna go ahead and slide our cross pin in just to hold the spider gears from walking back out. and go get our S-clip. All right, and there's another 8.8 Track-Lok assembled with used clutches that's still gonna grip just about as good as my freshly rebuilt unit. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to smash that like button. Let me know in the comments, would you go through the trouble of rebuilding one of these versus just buying a brand new one for 300 bucks? My thought process is that Ford probably made parts better back in the day, so with the rebuild kit and everything, I'm probably better off with this unit here, but that's probably some archaic thinking. If you're looking for a good deal on a ready to run 8.8 Track-Lok, make sure you check out my social medias. This thing will be on my Facebook Marketplace account for sale, ready to go.
Go! What you still here for? You like me? I have girlfriend. Go!
You're most likely watching this video the week that I'm on vacation with my family. When I get back, it's gonna be time to set the F100 cab on the Crown Vic chassis. I'm getting excited. I hope that you guys are too. Stay tuned because you don't wanna miss it, and we'll catch you on the next one.